Here for a CNBC exclusive to talk about the path forward for retail is Conor Flynn, CEO and president of Kimco Realty. Conor, welcome back. Good to have you with us.
Nice to see you.
So you've got all of your malls are open. This is largely because they are open air malls. Many of them are grocery store anchored, but you also have essential retailers like building supply and Walmart, right?
That's exactly right. We have really transformed the portfolio to be heavily weighted towards grocery anchored centers. And the nice part about that is it's really delivering at a time like this. You know, most of the shoppers today have actually been comfortable going to the grocery store. And we think that's a good indicator of what's to come when the non-essential retailers are allowed to open. Because they've gotten used to that grocery store experience, we feel like our shopping centers are uniquely positioned to rebound once they're allowed to open up back up fully.
Talk to me. You've got a percentage of companies that are closed, who have not opened either because they voluntarily decided not to or because they've been ordered not to do it. I see in my notes that you've collected about 60% of the total pro rata base rents billed for the month of April, including 78% from the top 50 tenants, 40% from those tenants that are closed. Have you received lots of rent deferral requests, and how are you working with those tenants one by one?
We have received around 30% of our rents from requested for deferrals. And what we've done is we've been very, very clear that we believe the large national retailers that have the balance sheets and the cash on hand to pay their rents should pay their rent. And that allows us to use our balance sheet to go and help the small shops, the mom and pop retailers that don't have the cash on hand, that don't have the balance sheets, to allow us to bridge them to the other side. We think that's the key component to success in all of this, is making sure that the small businesses, which we believe are the secret sauce to the shopping center success, make it to the other side.
What has the reaction of those large retailers been to that stance? They receptive?
You know, it's a case-by-case scenario. We obviously have long relationships with all of our retailers, and the ones that are open obviously are paying in general. The ones that are closed are looking to negotiate a little bit. But clearly now with the reopenings beginning, we see a light at the end of the tunnel, and we're hoping that with the restrictions lifted, we can see our shopping centers snap back relatively quickly.
I agree, Conor, that mom and pop stores should absolutely be helped. But at the same time, are your malls built around the anchor stores? In other words, are there co-tenancy agreements, et cetera, where you need to keep that large chain? And so if they're asking for a rent reduction, you might be forced, or you might think twice and give it to them in the end.
So the nice part about the open air shopping center is that typically you have a grocery anchor and then one or two other anchors. Could be a TJ Maxx or a Home Goods or a Burlington. And the co-tenancy clauses are pretty individually specific to multiple anchors have to be closed in an individual shopping center for a long period of time in order for a co-tenancy clause to be triggered. The nice part about where we sit today is all of our grocery anchors are open and doing phenomenally well. The other anchors are set to reopen shortly. And so those clauses will not be triggered in the current environment.
Tell us about your liquidity position and your debt position.
We are very, very proud of our liquidity position. It's one of the first things we made sure to secure, because we have a belief that if we can survive this, which we know we can, we'll be in a position to thrive. We're a BBB+, Baa1 investment grade credit, same as Starbucks. We have over $2 billion of immediate liquidity available to us. Hardly any near-term debt maturities. We actually have one of the longest debt maturity profiles in the REIT industry. And we feel like we're in a position to utilize that balance sheet to help our small shops. We've launched a tenant assistance program, which we call TAP, which gives our small shop tenants the ability to receive free legal advice to navigate both the state and federal assistance programs that are available to them.
The data, Conor, that Tyler was citing regarding rent deferrals, they are deferrals, correct? And so
Correct.
Give us a sense as to whether or not people are saying, we can't afford this right now, and we need to only pay a fraction. And does that happen, in your view, within the first month of a shutdown, or could it happen in month 2, 3, 4? I'm trying to get a sense of how long that liquidity will last.
Yeah, it's a very good question. You know, for now, what we've done is we've just granted deferrals. We haven't granted any abatement. And we believe that, you know, with the reopening is now starting to occur, that people recognize that, you know, it's time to get back to business and hopefully operate in the new normal. That being said, we are watching closely to see how the reopenings go and how long some of the closures are mandated. You know, it's not their fault that the pandemic occurred. It's not their fault that the mandatory closures were put in place. And so we are trying to work with all of our retailers to make sure that we get to the other side of this so they can be open and operating and successful again.